I lost more money in 1 hour than most traders will make in a lifetime. This loss didn't just cost me millions, it forced me to relearn one of the oldest trading lessons of all time. Don't worry though, I paid the tuition with this loss so that you don't have to. I'm Lance Breitstein, one of Wall Street's top traders and mentor to 7- and 8-figure traders. And in 2020, I had set the all-time record for the highest P&L in a single year, putting up close to $17 million at the trading firm Trillium. In 2021, I wanted to set the bar even higher by making over $20 million P&L in a single trading year, and hopefully setting a firm record that wouldn't be breached for a long time to come. My start of 2021 was unparalleled. I made about $12 million in profit in the first 2 months. It seemed inevitable that I would hit my goal, but the rest of the year proved far slower. My P&L curve was flattening out and the months were ticking away. It wasn't about the money by then, but about showing myself what is possible, pushing my abilities to their limits as a challenge to myself to become the best trader I could be. By November, it seemed like I might not actually hit my goal. The opportunities just weren't there. I painfully saw the calendar flipping by day as my goal started to slip away. Who knows when we'd ever see such opportunities again? In the market, you can go years without a hot market. And then, just as I was starting to give up hope, I thought I found the trade to do it, to finally break the $20 million per year P&L barrier that no trader at Trillium had ever reached in its 20-year history. It was November 2nd and the day started off innocuous enough. Then, about an hour into the trading day, we noticed on our breaking to new highs filter that Avis, ticker CAR, was exploding higher. The company had reported earnings that morning. On the surface, it didn't look like much, certainly nothing to justify what was about to unfold. The company mentioned something on their earnings call about expanding into electric vehicles. A vague comment, no concrete plan, no detailed rollout, just a mention of an EV fleet. But for context, the start of 2021 had been crazy. Meme stock mania. GME, AMC, and even bankrupt Hertz had their massive moves higher. Valuations, rationality, and even sanity had all exited stage left. It only lasted a few months, and the rest of the year had been calm since then. However, with remnants of that market still fresh in traders' memories, that was all it took. Cars started climbing hard. The move was violent. A thin float, high short interest, low liquidity, and a market still weaning off its addiction to meme stock euphoria and YOLOs. While that might sound scary to many, this was the type of price action I thrived at. It reminded me exactly of the types of moves I had crushed at the start of the year in GME and AMC, which at the time had been my biggest trades ever, as I had managed to time some aggressive shorts in the stocks while they were at their peaks. These were my bread and butter. Overextended parabolic squeezes with no real fundamental justification, ripe for mean reversion. I had perfected the timing, the risk management, the sizing. At least I thought I had. Everything about the car setup looked familiar, and I wanted to take full advantage. Not just to make money, but to cement the legacy. I told myself, this is it. This is the trade that takes me over $20 million on the year. The trade that cements my name in the Trillium record books. I shorted some stock as it was still going higher. Given the size of the move already seemed so extended. We exploded from around $180 or so all the way to $385, a whopping 115% move. But then, once we finally turned lower, we broke prior bar lows on the intraday chart. It was time to strike. So I went big. Too big. I wasn't just trading the ticker, I was trading my P&L and my aspirations. I let the goal dictate the size, not the edge. And even though the chart was stretched beyond belief, and even though I had every reason to believe a snapback was coming, I put on a position size that left me way too exposed if the trade didn't work immediately. I had no buffer, no breathing room. At first, it looked like I timed it right. The stock started to fall. I began building in, working into a huge position. My P&L rocketed green, and I was up hundreds of thousands of dollars already. We even then halted for volatility after a sharp move lower, often a good indicator that the top was in. And I thought I was gonna reach Valhalla. But a greater reversal never came. Instead, it consolidated not far from highs. And then it reignited for a second leg. I had no choice but to cut my losses and take my stop at the highs of $385. Just like that, in less than an hour, I locked in the biggest loss of my career. A huge 7-figure red number staring back at me. Over $2 million lost. I was definitely not going to set a new firm record now, but thank God I cut my losses when I did, because the stock ended up soaring much higher, all the way to $550 $50 before coming back to earth. Even if I had wanted to hold my position, my risk manager, rightfully, would have never let me do so. I had already hit my max loss limit for the day, so I was done. The loss was locked in and there was no making it back. No undo button, no mulligan. After seeing that I just lost $2 million, I stepped away from the keys and tried to process it. It still felt surreal. Was this just a bad dream? Did that really just happen? I had traded that setup so many times with such precision. But what was different is that this time, I let ambition cloud execution. It isn't that the play wasn't in my wheelhouse or that it wasn't a good opportunity. It's that I wanted the win too badly. And while the setup itself was valid, the way I sized it, the way I emotionally attached myself to the outcome was where I lost control. By the way, missizing a trade and emotionally attaching yourself to an outcome are two of the most common mistakes I see with traders, which I'll go deeper on in my upcoming video about deadly trading mistakes. So if you want the full breakdown of mistakes, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. So how could I have avoided this loss? What should I have done instead? The best traders don't just manage risk, they manage themselves and their mindset. And that $2 million loss, as painful as it was, forced me to relearn one of the oldest trading lessons of all time. You cannot impose your will on the market. The market does not care about your P&L goals. It does not care about the heroic finish you want. It is unattached, emotionless. Do I regret the trade? No. I would take that setup again, no questions asked. But I do regret the motivation behind it and my sizing. I let an external milestone override my internal discipline. The setup was without a doubt worth trading, but never for that size. I obviously didn't break the firm record that day, but I did break the dangerous mindset that had been creeping into my trading. I wrongfully thought that because I'm experienced and have succeeded with this trade time and time again, that I could ignore some of the sizing rules in my trading playbook that I've spent a decade building and the lessons that got me here. Lessons like stay humble, stay emotionless. You can never force the market to your will. It doesn't matter if you have a rent payment coming up. It doesn't matter if you want a new car. The market does not give a shit about you or what you want. All you can do is detach yourself from a P&L outcome, and instead, you must trust the process and know that if you keep on getting better, you'll end up happy with where you land. If trading is about anything, it's about constant improvement. It's about always evolving to be better the next day. But this story doesn't end with me taking a $2 million loss and going quietly into the night.
We will not go quietly into the night.
Sure enough, it was only when I truly freed myself from those external goals, attaching myself to P&L numbers, that I was able to perform at my best. Because in 2024, not only did I set my own personal all-time trading record, but I eclipsed what I ever imagined possible and made over $10 million in a single trade. So for now, no need to lose $2 million. I did that for you. Take it from me and my mistakes. Stick to the process, stick to your trading playbooks. The P&L will come when it's time. If you're new to trading playbooks or want to create or improve yours, watch my video on the importance of building a playbook and subscribe, because one of my next videos is teaching you the exact steps to building your own.